So come on in, take a sip. Let's wind down. It's late, so I'm late getting to the game. And after a day like today, I don't need, but I want a Manhattan. But I wanted a Manhattan that was maybe made with scotch instead of rye or bourbon. So instead I made a Rob Roy. And all the basic things are there. I kind of do in equal parts of the sweet vermouth and the single malt. I'm using a Ben Brackley scotch here today. And of course, a couple of shots of the Angus stirrup bitters. I always have enough left over at the end for one tiny little bit of a toddy again before I switch to wine and crawl into a movie for the evening. But this is a wonderful way to celebrate Hump Day after a long one on the road. And sweet vermouth is a wine, so I'm winding down to a degree here. But I love the Rob Roy. It's not so sweet. It's just as good as a Manhattan. It's just a little bit less sweet, and that really kind of hits the spot for someone like me who's not really into very sweet drinks. But unlike my wine glass, gotta be careful with this one. It'll spill. All right, so let's see. So, then jumping into our grid here today, we got a Dan Caprera construction here, edited by Will Shorts. So, it's wonderful that is to say. Let's go ahead and hop into it and see what we got for our Wednesday. Okay, blank ever. Elvis song and GI Blues. It's like Woodja or Huda. I don't remember it. I can hear it in my head, but I figured you probably want me to skip the singing. I'd just probably solve around it, right? So aid in seeking a record contract could be a demo. Cleverly understanding, maybe onto. And D to F as an example in music. And D to F, C in the A, E minor, B a minor third. And I always say this, if you are a musician, these types of clues, boy, they come in handy, right? You know, otherwise, I'd just say these are probably among the groups you want to memorize, right? You know, definitely want to memorize the musical terminology and how the circle of fifths work and how minors and major chords and suspended sevens and diminished, and just learn it all if you can, because it's not going to hurt a thing. Sure, you can include me. How about I'm in? Eggplant is a commonly used one, and I'm assuming we're going for the emoji. And I guess that may be indeed very common. How about don't ask, which is what we should do when it comes to questioning the eggplant emoji. Just don't ask. Is did ya ever? That's right. Tune, air. Inspiration for a seafood chain. Now, we got some funny stuff going on with these J's and these O's, but we'll play along. Bun contents. Probably hair. Donkey Kong would be an ape, so okay. Yeah, maybe we can go with hair. It's been ages. Okay, let's just one area at a time here. Let's see. Area of frenetic dancing. If this is an M, kitten cries, muse, maybe. So, okay. Gonna go with a mosh pit. Now, I don't know about you here, but I'm seeing this is probably seafood chain Long John Silver's, right? So clearly we're spreading out John here. My assumption is we'll have two N's. Let's see if I'm right. Stan rapper would be Eminem. And alert could be to warn. And Arab League member could be Oman, and Donkey Kong country, console for short. I guess it's the SNES, maybe? Engender to sire, okay. Is this an I? 1/3 313 or 213 or 315. I think we're talking about ides. So I think we're going to spell out silver here. And if this is indeed correct, then this is a very, very clever idea, Dan Caprera. I'm loving it. Let's see if it is what we think it may be. Writer's starting point. I'm a writer. I like to start with an outline. Never. I just start writing. He always told us to. I kind of got it all up here. I can organize it, I promise. Fall to 0% battery, maybe to die. And you know, we had dead yesterday. So weird how these clues going to make their way around. Stunt performer on Jackass, and I think that's Steve O. I think. It's been ages. Well, over here we've got John. That's long. See, it doesn't say John, right? It just says, or it says John, but it doesn't say long John. So the long is implied. And if that's the case, I'm thinking this may be, see how we could have two T's here, M, E, E, and then no C. I'm going to just take a bold guess and see if this may be what we're talking about. So a long time, no C. And this is one of those that I wonder if we'll have an illustration or some sort of Easter egg at the end. We need to take a look at that. I'd hate to miss it. Munchkin, maybe an elf. All right. And then who else got it? So let's go finish our southwest corner. Dune actor Isaac, and I think this is Oscar. Pixar's Remy, for one. I think there's a rat, as I was told by one of our community members the other day. He's like, yeah, and in fact, he was telling me all about the rat, and Remy the rat, and all that stuff, and the whole Pixar thing from the early 2000s. And I guess we're going to have to take a look at that. I mean, why not, right? I mean, I'm all for it. And so, seat of New York's Oneida County would be Utica. Powerful server, I'm assuming an Acer, which is kind of a double entendre there. I mean, I'm assuming Acer could make powerful servers, along with the actual tennis player themselves. I don't know. Part of a doctrine could be a tenet, and just to check, field of Jean-Luc Godard, and that is Cin. Very nice. So, preppy fabric. Oh, good Lord. What could preppies possibly wear? Everything. Org with the acid rain program, it'd be EPA. Slip into perhaps ease, and charges some OT enders. I think this is fees, and if that's the case, this could be field goals. And so we'll put our fees in to see if this works. Competitive poker could be an EPA. Funny, I like that too. For sure, maybe I agree. That one felt weird for a second. So I guess preppy fabric could be seersucker. I had a seersucker suit made for me one time in Istanbul, and I tell you what, that's a wonderful thing to wear in the summer. Darker graphic arts. Fruit that may be poached, and I think we're talking about pears here. One who looks at slides. I think we've got it spelled out for us as an ump. It's also a very clever clue answer combination. I'm loving it. Warrant could be to merit. Yom Kippur war leader would be Golden Mare. It may be induced. How about a coma? And side dish that's commonly fried. Well, how else would you eat it? Other than putting that gelatinous stuff in a soup of some sort, right? Jumbo, gumbo, whatever it's called. I don't know. You couldn't eat it without it being fried like by itself. I don't think. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. If I am, tell me. You got a good recipe, let me know. I'll go get some. Why not? Pelt, maybe fur. Exotic pet store offerings. How about iguanas? Which reminds me of that Stan, what's his name? I wish I was in Tijuana. I had a barbecued iguana one time. Delicious. amazingly delicious. I think it's the tail you eat, but that was good. A bar for cheers and a coffee shop for friends. And I've seen Cheers. I've never seen an episode of Friends, but I think these are sets. Word with sound or side, maybe effect. So, people in Disney's The Emperor's New Groove. Don't know anything about it, but I'm assuming we're talking about the Inca. Numismatic rating could be fun. Concern for a bank, maybe a lien. And Yale Bulldogs by other names. Of course, they're the Ely's. All right, so what do we got here? What a stereotypical bartender asks after a horse walks into a bar. So have you ever heard that one? So a horse walks into the bar and the bartender says, "Why the long face?" Third grade jokes, right? So I'm assuming this would be "Why the," and then we've got the long face here. So maybe that's it. Maybe we're right. Serious mix-up, maybe a melee. Title sitcom character voiced by Paul Fusco, and that would be Alf. God, that show is never gonna die. As long as ALF are useful as a trio in a crossword, it is going to be around. Not feel so hot. How about ale? And awards since '56 would be the Obie. Not so hot, blah, meh. Frequent filler for a po' boy, and I do believe when I had my last one years ago, it was oysters. So good. As a last resort, city that was home to the Wright brothers, and that would be Dayton, Ohio. And number 50 on a table, I think we're talking about periodic table, would be Cin, or more commonly as tin. That's the one thing I tell people, you've got to memorize that periodic table of the elements, along with the Greek gods, the Roman gods, the Hindi gods, the Norse gods. You just get them all memorized if you can. Make sure you know your Roman numerals, know your Hebrew alphabet, your Greek alphabet. I mean, these are just things that you're just going to have to work on in your spare time. It will help tremendously, right? I mean, I've been working on the moons of Saturn and Jupiter for months, it seems, right now, just so I don't get hemmed up. But you know, there's a lot of them. So, t-shirts here, the modern day canon, stepped on, maybe trod, maybe a handful, maybe it could be a rain. Contents of some shots, probably Sierra. We got Bobby Orr making an appearance, always. And Creepy Crawler, I guess we've got Daddy Long Legs. Okay, got it. So we got the Sierra works out in there. We're looking okay here. Hits up on Slack, say, I guess, instant messages. I don't know. Steamed could be irate. Now I think I know. It's IMs. Quick trips by car could be spins. Let's go for a spin. Certain Trekker, I'm assuming Haji. Sandwich, soft tortilla wrap, and a rank achieved by the great Jay Gatsby. And he was a major. And how do we do, Bob? Well, very nice. Dan Caprera, you knocked this out of the ballpark. This was almost Thursday material, right? This was really good. I mean, it wasn't too terribly challenging, but there were some things in here, you know, like Jean-Luc Godard and some others, you know, Tin, etc. on the periodic tales that could have been difficult for, a beginner. But honestly, this was just a super Wednesday. Very, very well constructed. Fine job. Bravo, sir. Bravo. So with that, a salute. The thing about these crystal martini cocktail glasses is you have to go slow with them. There's no gulping something. And with one of these, and I got another puzzle to do. So you want to take it a little bit slow. All right, let's go ahead and bring down our Benny de Adieu. And until we see you on the morrow, we are so close to 600 subscribers. We've grown this thing tremendously. If you haven't yet subscribed, and I never ask, as you well know, But if you'd be so kind, I'd really appreciate it. My birthday's coming up on March 8th, and I would love to hit 600 by then. It'd be great to be at 1,000 by the summer, if not more. But I do like the way we're growing, piece by piece, person by person, kindness by intelligence, by passion, by desire to learn at a time, right? Each one of us in this community shares these gifts, and it's a wonderful community, and I don't want to be overrun. But I know there are more out there. And I know of the regulars watching versus the, who subscribed and who hasn't. There's a few of you. And if you wouldn't mind, I would really appreciate it. It would mean the world to me. It would just go to show that we're getting something done here and that you appreciate the work we're doing. And that I would appreciate the most. So until we see you on tomorrow, ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Servus. Grüß Gott. Ciao. Cin-Cin. Toodle pip. See you on tomorrow. Be well out there. Take care.